This is Art Television.
නමෝ තස් භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස් භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස් භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස චවෝ චවාය සද්ධින් සංවසති දේවි චවෝ දේවියා සද්ධින් සංවසති ති. Homage to the Buddha, the fully enlightened, the blessed one. Today I would like to discuss with you very important and very crucial topic which is very relevant to day-to-day life of you. Today, the traditional marriage relationship is dramatically and drastically changing, isn't it? So, we need to protect this very sacred, very important institution in the society. This is the basic unit, the basic important fact in the building a better and good society. Because if there's no good family relationship, the children, upbringing of the children will be disturbed, and we might get criminals and negligent and desperate children will be given to the society as a result of bad and incohabitable marriages. So, our Lord Buddha, the Blessed One, has explained very important and very useful and doable stuff, which can be used to live a successful marriage life. For example, in Singalovada Sutta, Buddha explained there are duties and responsibilities of the husband and also of the wife. For example, Buddha says, if you want to be a good husband, if you want to be a good wife, there are 5 important duties, important responsibilities towards each other. One is sammananaya. The husband should be very respectful to the wife. The women always expect, they deserve respect. Therefore, in a way, women also has a responsibility to behave in such a way so that she can earn the respect of the husband. If the wife is behaving irresponsible manner and disgrace way, so she might not get the due respect from the husband. The respect actually need to be earned. It is not a privilege, it is not something you must get compulsorily. So, respect definitely need to be earned by the person. So, husband has to respect the wife and also should not despise, should not disgrace the wife. Therefore, the second duty is to protect her with all the kind of blameworthy and some kind of blamings. So thirdly, the wife should be faithful to the husband. This is very important aspect of the life. We have generally, the society accept a monogamous marriage, which is one husband and one wife. Therefore, the trustworthiness and the faithfulness is very important aspect of the marriage. If the husband or wife is unfaithful, that can lead to the disastrous or destruction of the family. So it is, trust is like a glass. Once it's broken, even you put in all the pieces together, you cannot get the glass you saw before. It is not perfect anymore. It is not complete anymore. Then the wife has to protect the earnings of the husband. She should not squander, she should not spend lavishly and destroy the earnings of the husband. So that wife should be definitely frugal and very in an economical way she should spend the things earned by the husband. And from time to time, the wife should be given very beautiful ornaments and decorative things and beautiful things, because the inherent nature of the women is to love the beautiful and natural things. So when I search about this topic, I search in the internet and because I personally don't have family experience. So I listen to some of the great speakers talks about marriage and some internet research on the marriage, so that I can have some kind of secondary knowledge about the marriage, because I don't have the primary or basic knowledge about the marriage. In another sutta, Buddha once was sitting in walking in the road, and he saw some group of couples are coming towards him. So in order to allow them to pass by, Buddha go to a nearby tree and sat down. But this group of couples, young couples, were interested about Buddha, and they never see him, and they went to the Buddha and asked how we should have a beautiful marriage or beautiful relationship in our family life. Then the Buddha explained there are 4 kinds of marriages. One is we call is cohabitation. Those days there wasn't a marriage certificate. Certificate is a legal document. Marriage must happen from heart to heart, not paper work. You should bound by each other with the feelings and emotions, so that there can be a good understanding between each other. So in this question, Buddha explained there are 4 kinds of people in the world, 4 kinds of couples in the world. First couple is one person is dead and the other person also dead. So that is chavo chava asaddin sangmasati. The dead person is living with another dead person. Once we are dead, we don't have emotions, we don't have kind of relationships, we don't have any kind of understanding between each other. Because mere sake of we have getting married, we are living together, but not with full affection, with full understanding and full cooperation and living together. So then the second one is one husband is dead and the wife is like a goddess. So in Buddhism, the concept of goddess is quite different from the other religions. Any person can be reborn as a god or goddess, but their lifespan is not so long. But once their merits are over, they will reborn in the human world. There are 6 realms of heavenly world according to teachings of the Buddha. So this case, the wife is like a goddess and the husband is like the dead person. And another case, husband is like the goddess and the wife is like the dead body. So the 4th category is called the god is living with the goddess. This is the Buddha's recommended marriage relationship. Because if you are living together and if you are living happily, so this is very important that both of you cooperate and exchange loving words and exchange. Buddha says that madhubhani, the speaking very sweet words, is very important in family life. Madhu means in honey, and bana means or speaking. So speaking like honey. When you are eating honey, you feel very tasty and very sweet. So the words must be very loving and affectionate. So this is very important aspect of marriage life. And if you use harsh words or very negative words, which can destroy the good relationship of the people. So in this category, how people are dead, normally dead people cannot have a marriage. So here Buddha says, if a person is doing 10 kinds of unwholesome things, the person is like, even though he is living, he is spiritually dead. This is what Buddha means here. Not physically dead, he is spiritually dead. How person get spiritually die? This is how Buddha explained. If one are doing killings of any beings and also stealing anything or conduct in sexual misconduct, and also in verbally, you can do 4 kinds of unwholesome deeds. Akusala, this is called unwholesome deeds. If they are lying, if they are speaking harsh words, and also if they are speaking divisive speech, and also empty speech. These kind of verbal actions are unwholesome, and also there are unwholesome mental states, that is abhijja, craving, and vyapada, lobha and vyapada. Abhijja is great craving. If a person is having a very big craving, he cannot live a happy marriage life, because when people having so much craving, they are not ready to sacrifice their time. The marriage is all about sacrificing one's happiness, one's time, one's energy for the happiness of the other. So this is very important to not have too much greed. And secondly, vyapada, anger. If a wife or husband always live with the marriage life become very unpleasant, not very nice. So therefore, we need to have very pleasant state of mind, because everybody loves the pleasantness. That's why we looking beauty and nice things every day. We want to experience nice things. We want to experience beautiful things. That is very important thing in the marriage life. So the last mental state is micchaditi, wrong views. Some people don't believe, and some people don't have understanding about the unwholesome deeds, or this is right or this is wrong. So this kind of having a wrong view will lead to a collapse of the marriage life. So on the other hand, the wholesome deeds, like if you are not killing, if you are not stealing, if you are not conducting sexual misconduct, and you don't speak divisive speech or lying or harsh words or empty words, useless words, so therefore you are not doing unwholesome, then you are not spiritually dead. If you are not spiritually dead, then you can live like the god and the goddess of the world. So this is the parable. So if you want to have heavenly marriage life, you should have the basic spiritual values in your life. Most people think to have a successful marriage, you need to have a big house, big car, or a lot of properties, but they are sometimes essential. We need a house to live, and we need some income, there's no doubt, but most probably we need to have good heart, good understand, good spiritual background, good spiritual foundation. If you have good spiritual foundation, it is very easy and very convenient for to have a very successful marriage. And the modern days, there are some other values or qualities to develop in the success of the marriage. First is called samasaddha. That is, equally you have faith in each other. If you look at our fingers or our body, we are not equal, or we are not very same. If you compare two persons, we are totally different people. So in this world, it's very hard to find even two people exactly and absolutely quite similar. So therefore, we need to develop, because originally by the nature we are not same, but when you are married together, when you are living together, you need to balance certain aspect of your character, certain aspect of your thinking, certain aspect way of behavior. So you need to control definitely. So you try to be equal with the husband or wife by being equally faithful. The faith here is faith to each other, and also faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. And then another virtue we need to develop is the precepts, or observing precepts. If the husband and wife observe in the similar amount of faith, similar amount of virtue, that is very good. Because then there will not be any breaking of precepts. That means they have very good spiritual background to follow, spiritual foundation. So virtue is healer, is very important in marriage life. Then another aspect is equal level of generosity. So sometimes husband and wife, husband may be very generous and wife may not be generous. Sometimes wife may be generous and husband may not be generous. So it is very essential aspect of the marriage life is being generous. Generous to each other, generous to the children, generous to the society, generous to the relatives. So many aspects, because we are not living alone. We need to address these aspects. We need to look at each other and help each other. So generosity, sacrifice is very important aspect of the marriage life. Then the equal level of wisdom. Of course, we are not equal in our thinking, equal our way of rationalization. So we need to look at our brain, or look at the way we thinking. So we need to adjust our way of thinking to adjust the other person. Sometimes, in family lives, there are some good habits we need to develop. Sometimes husband and wife may be very critical of each other. This is very negative aspect of marriage life. So if you want to have a very peaceful and beautiful married life, you should be curious. You must be questioning, but not be so critical. I remember one story where a very young boy was beaten by his teacher. The reason for his beating is he was always late to the school. So, and this child is also quite shamed because he was beaten in front of the other school students, and at the same time he was ashamed to talk. There are people who are very shy and not able to talk in front of other people. So he never explained why he was late to the school. But one day he saw the same student was bringing his old grandfather to the doctor every morning in a wheelchair. So he has to do every day, before he come to the school, he has to do this thing every day. and after that he has to go to the school. So because this duty, he cannot come to the school on time. So therefore, he was the next day when the child come to the school, the teacher gave the ruler or the stick to hit to the teacher. The student has to hit to the teacher. So he understood the mistake. So definitely in our life, sometimes we are very without knowing true facts, without understanding the real situation. Sometimes the wives and husbands become very critical of the other partner. This can lead to family conflicts, family kind of quarrels or arguments. So therefore, it's okay to be curious what is happening, what is going on in their lives or other partner's life, and also become very after search, deep search, you can be critical, so that you have a basis for your criticism. It is not a baseless or just mere imagination or mental preparation. When we have seen some incidents, we have a tendency to have creating a story inside our mind. So there was one singer song I remember. It's sung by a very famous blind singer, and he saw some. He feel that some sites of big shoe marks on the floor. So he was thinking who came to the house while he was away, but actually the little son was wearing this slippers or whatever and walking in front of the house. So the husband's suspicion is baseless, but he can create a mental story in his mind and have a misunderstanding about the wife. And there are other good habits, and also we must be very careful in marriage life, especially the words. Words are like the swords or the sharp weapon that can cut both sides. So therefore we must be very careful not crushing other people. And I will like to explain that don't assume. Sometimes people assume, okay, my husband is getting late every day, there must be some other reason, or my wife is getting late every day, there must be some other reason. So therefore, we need to look why he is really late. If you don't look at why he is really late and assume, it's not good. Sometimes maybe you have to do overwork, sometimes you may have to do some other things. So we need to have a research why he is late and careful, and not assume. That can lead to misunderstanding. And also it's very good to have very good agreement. Sometimes it's good to have agreement about when they are fighting. Sometimes in family lives you are fighting, sometimes there are arguments, sometimes quarrels. So when you have this kind of things, the husband and wife can have agreement, okay, we will not fight or argue in front of the children, because that affects their psychological development, that hinders their mental peace, and maybe that disturbs their education. So if the constantly husband and wife are fighting or quarreling or arguing and all the time, that's not good. So therefore, if you can have some good understanding or agreements what to do, and also relationships has to be built. It cannot come automatically. Therefore, you need to pump some energy, some time, some money, and so all these are very important. Another aspect of the marriage life is the insights. You have to understand the other partner. Sometimes in one case, the husband asks from the wife, what can I buy for you for your birthday? Then the wife said, I don't need anything. Then actually husband thought literally that wife doesn't want anything. So he didn't buy anything for the wife. The disaster happens after that. The wife became very mad at the husband, and she scolded at the husband. Why? Because husband didn't bring birthday gifts. But if you have a good communication, good understanding and a clear communication, then you can explain and what you want. Because some people expect that husband or wife can read your mind. If you can read her or his mind, is fine, it's nice, but most people doesn't have this ability to read others' mind. So therefore, we need to communicate. Sometimes the miscommunication, sometimes bad communication, and sometimes non-communication. These non-communications that can lead to a breakdown of the family, because sometimes the job pressure, sometimes the economical pressure might lead husband to work more, and he doesn't have time to spend with the kids, spend the time with the wife. Then this communication barrier becomes, and nowadays we have dramas, we have so many other things, social medias. Nowadays, in the internet age, the one of the very bad thing we have is the mobile apps and other things. These things disturb the communication, and also people engage too much in the social media, so that they don't have time for the family members to talk together, sit together, have dinner together, breakfast together. Even you are having breakfast, even you are having lunch or dinner together, they are texting or they are searching or browsing, so that their full undivided attention is not paid. So especially women need undivided full attention during the time they are staying together. They need quality time together, discuss everything together. So this is a very important aspect of family life. So we also need to mutuality, so that you must compromise. You must understand. For example, if the husband want to start the day with going to the gym or doing some exercise, walking around for the exercise, so wife also must mutually agree and help him to sacrifice some time for him, and wife and husband vice versa mutually must look after each other. So in Buddhism, it is you must look at in a very pleasant eye to each other, and also live like the milk and water. The Buddhism definition of love is the blend together like milk and water. So in one story in Buddhism, living in harmony, in pleasant mind and pleasant eye to each other is very important. So I hope that you can understand that social media, all these things can disturb our family life. So give priority and foremost important place for the family life, so that you can have a better and good relationships. You can build better children for the society, for the country, so that there will be a peace and harmony in the family. There will be happiness in the family. The happiness is the highest wealth. So in order to have happiness, we need to have good, cordial, lovable, and affectionate family life. So let's try to apply these Buddhist principles to lead a good family life. So may the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha and bless you, guide you and protect you, and stay blessed.
උදතිද සබරි දිකුදලති හස්තිරාජවරු පෙර